I gotta admit, this episode does touch your heart a little. Hope you enjoyed this one. This is Solomon Adams giving my latest review on Sword Art Online 2, episode 23, A Beginning of a Dream. And this whole episode was literally about Asuna helping Yuki try to feel the real world. Like, we all know that Yuki's terminally ill and she can't feel anything. So Asuna gives the next thing. Remember last episode where Kirito was using this camera device? He was trying to connect. At first they were using it on their daughter Yui. Trying to make sure she can see things from the real world for that camera's perspective with more sensitive. They're trying to make the camera's perspective the same as the human eye. And you get the understanding, stop motion detection. But in this episode, she gets to use it, for Yuki. I mean, Asuna takes her to her class. Her teachers. Asuna literally uses it to make her feel the real world. I mean, she does nothing all day. She just sits in a room playing games. At least this way she can see life again. I mean, think about it. She's stuck in a sealed room. No human contact. The only time she ever has fun is in the virtual world. But this way, and see people is in the virtual world. But this way she can see the real world with her own eyes instead. And not being able to leave the hospital is quite difficult. But at least this way she can finally get to see what's happening outside again. I mean, outside. I mean, Yuki, and Asuna's friends are praising her for reading. Yeah, I mean, incredible. Asuna is literally the friend that you could literally die for, because she's willing to help this girl who has very few time left on Earth, and yet she's making her feel so welcome, even though she is very, very sick. But that's the thing. Asuna doesn't pity her. She's not doing this out of pity. She's doing this because she is her friend. And that's what part I like the most about Asuna. She's willing to help out anyone, whether they're innocent or made a dumb mistake, or rich or poor. As long as they need help, she's willing to do that. And that's one of the things you gotta like about Asuna and her character. This whole, remember, the first part was about Kiko. The second arc was about Asuna and her feelings, her emotions, how she's trying to develop. And I think she sees a little bit of herself in Yuki, and because she's an only child, she has no other siblings, while Yuki, she had a twin, but she lost her and her entire family. So basically Yuki's all alone, which is why they relate to each other. I mean, look at Asuna. She barely relates to her family. For example, her mother. You should see Neverwell's video, biggest bitch in the world. I don't want to say it, but yeah. But I don't want to seem rude, but you get the point. Asuna's mom is literally a stick in the mud. But then Yuki gives Asuna this advice: you have to do what makes other people happy, not just what makes you happy. And also, because Yuki has very little time on Earth, why waste it suffering? Which is why she's so happy-go-lucky, so smiling. That's the mystique you have to love about Yuki. She's literally the kind of sister you want, and person you want, and part of your family. That's the part of Yuki you gotta love. And that was the first part of the episode. That was like the first half. The second half was about Asuna trying to communicate with her mother. So even though Asuna's mom doesn't particularly understand her obsession with the virtual world, she at least has to ask her to just 5 minutes in the virtual world. And they talk. Apparently Asuna shows this forest, her home. Apparently the home forest isn't just Asuna and Kirito's home and their place to hang out. Apparently it's a reminder of Asuna's grandparents' house. Her mom's parents. Even though her mother, her didn't have a good relationship with her parents, her grandparents really did love her mother a lot and really did care for her. They called her treasure. Asuna felt so happy being around her grandparents that this home they have in the virtual world is literally just an aspect of what her grandparents' home is. It's almost like a complete replica, but a little different. Even though her mom always was a little tightwad and always so strict and serious, It's because, you know, she became a successful person and probably turned her back on her parents, but her parents never stopped loving her, even from afar. Even though she never came to the funeral, she never came to their funeral. Her parents did care about her, and they even left their house, so in case they always needs a place to stay, they can always know where to come home. I'm like, these people really did care about their child, even though she became a spoiled brat. I'm like, wow. And her mom couldn't even stop crying because in the virtual world, you know, everything's out in the open. Even though she wanted to hide her tears, in the virtual world, you know, your mind is an expression of what you feel. And that's what she feels. She feels sadness, and a little bit happy knowing that her parents still cared about her despite all the reluctance. Like, however, there's also one thing that Asuna has to understand. Even though her mother wants her to go to a proper school and doesn't want her to stay in that other school she's in now, her mother at least others just wants the best for her daughter. I mean, think about it. She did lose her daughter for 2 years in the virtual world. I mean, a parent losing a child, even though they're not dead, but you can't talk to them or understand what they're thinking, that's got to be a little harsh. I mean, so you have to understand the way Asuna's mother feel. But at least this way they finally had some common ground, they talked, and it seems like they reluct their feelings. Even though she's not smiling, her mother isn't smiling, she still cares about Asuna, and at least this way, hey, they finally got some common ground. For example, she's not nagging, she doesn't seem to be nagging her as him. And this is just the beginning. We're just 2 episodes away from the epic series and season finale. So basically, hopefully we get more happiness, some more good parts, some more time between Asuna and Yuki. And remember, Yuki doesn't have that much time live. Hopefully the last couple episodes about Yuki, how her life has been, what her last moments are going to be before death. And hopefully it will be very, very interesting. What do you think? Hope you enjoyed this one. The Solana Sword Art Online 2 episode 23, Beginning of a Dream. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. Thank you. Signing off. I'll check that back.